thanks, Carla. It's really great to be here in Metropolis. It's always great to come here for the Superman celebration. I quite enjoy just coming during the year when I can get up here from Huntsville. It's about a 4.5 hour drive, but it's always worth it coming here to visit my friends here. And you know, all of the we ran the Support Metropolis program, which was the T-shirts and the hoodies and everything for the local businesses here. The main reason I did it is because it gave me a chance to help the people I knew that were hurting during all of COVID and everything. I was a very blessed person that it didn't affect me. I got to work from home. It wasn't fun, but I just worked from home every day. Thankfully that's over, and thankfully we're all back here and enjoying the Superman celebration. And I just love this town. I love, you know, the Super Museum, the Chamber, Sissy's, Six and Vintage, the whole shebang here. I love coming here. I love bringing my family here. In my office, I have this ongoing collage of photos of my son since he's been born with Superman every year. So we're going to thankfully get to continue that this year. And the Lego thing is just something that's worked out really great. I'm the one who built the Lego Super Museum, if you want to go check that out in the Super Museum. And I'm going to be talking about it at 11:30 at a presentation called Super Lego Engineering, which will talk about my Lego work, my work with NASA, and you know, how you can build stuff like this too. I'm just really happy this is going to be something we could raise funds for the Superman celebration, and I hope you guys buy a lot of tickets so we can get this sent to a good home. Thanks, guys. This is a 1-to-1 scale of that. So if you win this, you get to take a part of Metropolis home with you. This is about 3,400 pieces of Lego, red, yellow, and blue. It has a nice wooden base so you guys can get it home safely. I was able to drive it here, so it works.
And I will tell you that we will be drawing the winning ticket on Sunday prior to the costume contest. So if you are here in town, buy a ticket, you may be the winner at the Chamber of Commerce.
I can't see without these. Wow, these are prescriptions. It's either look cool and douchey, or take them off and be a little block.
These are not prescription. He's colorblind though, so
I always colorblind.
You know what I always love about Michael being colorblind is his outfits that he would wear on the show. He didn't know what color they were.
If I would have known I was wearing purple, I'll tell you, I would have been really nice.
What color is a Superman symbol? To you.
Well, it's red and blue.
But to you when you see it.
I believe it's red and blue to me. That's what I see. I see red and blue. I'm colorblind, but I still see red and blue.
You don't see the green?
No green. That's what you don't like, is the green. The kryptonite.
The green room. Oh, kryptonite, yeah.
So what are we supposed to do? Answer questions? Are we supposed to do some stand-up? I can do whatever.
I was going to break dance.
You can do stand-up sitting down, so pick a lane.
What?
So you can't do stand-up sitting down, so pick a lane.
Pretty good, pretty good. I like this guy.
Supergirl is going to politely answer.
Supergirl.
That is very important to me. Oh? Are you serious? Hey, what? You gotta let me know when he transforms. I gotta be there. I gotta be there.
Hands up. Let's do this thing.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. And by the way, real quick, thank you for having us. Tremendous. They're just filled with love and a love for Superman and comics and just great people, and I really appreciate all of it.
Michael said the first time is the best time. It will probably be your last time. So enjoy it.
Exactly what I said? Thank you.
That's a true friendship right there. It's beautiful.
It's built on lies.
One last thing, and I'm gonna shut up. Keep an eye on each other. We're packed in and it's really hot. Just be cool.
Also, the other thing is we want to get to as many questions as we can. So, rapid fire. We've only got 10 minutes.
Before we start questions, Tom and I, we've been waiting to broadcast this news, but Tom and I are starting a podcast together. It airs July 15th. It is called Talkville. We go through every episode of the entire series. We dissect it so you can listen to us every week. Spread the word. Talkville, coming on iTunes, Spotify, Google, iTunes, everything. You can watch it. You can hear it. It's a lot of fun. We really, because I didn't see a lot of the episodes, so it's all new to me.
This is the best part. We start watching these episodes, and Michael's like, "Whoa, what's going on? What's happening?" He's like, "Well, not only did you only read these, this is my alarm to wake up, by the way."
Well, wake up!
Michael's like, "What's happening here? Why is Lana talking to me like that?" Because Michael only read his own scenes. He didn't watch the show.
That's not entirely true. I just didn't see every episode like Tom did. I might have missed a couple of seasons.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. This is not podcast related, but I remember when Joseph Hartley was on the show. And I remember he told me he had a big party for the first time his character was going to show up. I don't know if you know this. And he had 15, 20 people in his house. He's ready. And he's, Oliver Queen's on there. He's looking great. And then he turns into Green Arrow and he comes out and one of his first lines, I don't know what it was, but he was like, "Hello." And he said his whole family and everybody there looked at me, "Why are you talking like that?" They didn't tell me my voice would be like that. They did that after the show.
Post-production.
It was post-production, and so he was like, "I would have done that on set." And I'm like, "I'm glad you didn't do that."
By the way, what a great body Justin has. Really.
Dare I say, still does.
Still does. Still works it out. Oh, thanks. Well, I had some Mexican for lunch, so... and I am feeling it. Let me tell you that.
I thought you lost 5 pounds.
I lost a couple, I swear. We were signing autographs this morning. I won't get into it, but, there was a moment where I thought I'm in trouble. But it was okay. They say don't trust a fart over 50. I'll be 50 in a month, so...
I got a couple of I don't think Green Arrow has a hometown. There's no official town.
Where's he from?
Where's that? Where? Oh, it's across the river?
Century City? Central.
Texas? I know he's from
I like
Stars.
that they know so much more than we'll ever know.
Well, when you watch the series on our podcast,
You're gonna like it because we keep track of deaths, saves, the whole thing. It's really good. What I really think of the podcast or the episode, we give it a rating system, the rose and bomb rating system. 3 roses, we loved it. 2 roses, pretty damn good. 1 rose, it's okay. Middle, right in the middle is a heater, right down the middle. It's you don't have to see it. 1 bomb, kind of crappy. 2 bombs really crappy. 3 bombs a piece of.
I didn't realize I was doing a podcast with the harshest critic of the series.
Tell how it is. I tell it how it is. I liked a few episodes. I definitely liked it. The pilot was fantastic.
That's Maximus.
Leximus was a great episode. We haven't gotten to that. We will though. And there's a hotline you can call and you can leave messages and stuff. It's fun. Anyway, let's get to some questions. Should we do it? Let's do it.
Alright, so we all know you're from Smallville, but do either of you have any smaller, lesser known projects that you'd love to get some love to?
Not that I can remember.
I have a podcast called Inside of You.
Actually, this fall I got a new TV series coming out on CW called Professionals. So that doesn't to answer your question. It's not necessarily lesser known, it's unknown. But till now. Yeah. Thank you for not using your phone, sir.
I didn't say slower.
Multiverse crossover with everybody. Okay. You had lost your powers. Was that your idea, the writers, or somebody else's?
That was the writers. And when I asked them why, they said they don't know. But it worked for the scene. And I was like, huh? The good thing, I'm really glad that in that scene, John Cryer's Lex Luthor didn't say, "What happened to your powers?" I'd have been like, oh. But my favorite part, my absolute favorite part about that scene, I tried to play a little more with Jonathan Kent, sort of a John Wayne, kind of with the, take the gloves off and I do the whole thing. That was on purpose, and as a tribute to Schneider. But my favorite part of that episode, that scene, was when he says he's Lex Luthor. And I was like, you're not Lex.
By the way, did you used to love John Glover or John Schneider? Every scene he'd come in and go.
Here's another thing that I learned a lot from Schneider. He's the best. He's a dude boy, you know?
Just a good old boy.
Come on. And by the way, if you've ever seen him sing that song, he sings it better than the originals. He's a great singer. And we did this scene recently, we watched it. It's in the first season, and Clark, I don't know, was complaining about something, and John gets up from the table to go talk to Clark. And so, like, if the camera's there, John gets up from the table, and there's the edge, and John gets up, and he goes, "Clark, let me tell you something." And here's the table. John's body went like this. And his head stayed right on the camera. That guy knew his stuff. And that's when we takes the rod. He goes, "What's in my hand?" Remember that scene?
I didn't watch it.
And he goes, "You can see it." He goes, "No, you always carry a pocket knife in your pocket." Next question.
Do you want to take any props or anything from set?
Nope. I was really, I forgot. I wanted to text you yesterday that you should bring a Lex suit.
I got Lex's white president suit. I took that. I took the Zod trench coat. I've got like Lex's glasses I used to drink at the bar with. I've got a big portrait that with a crazy doll that was, excuse me, in Lex's office. I've got so much crap. I was like, if I ever go broke, I'm selling this shit.
And you can never find my character's socks. They always disappear.
I got them. I don't have any socks.
Hey Tom, how you doing?
Hi.
Any funny moments from the set of Lucifer?
I know, I heard them talking about it.
Oh, yeah. Carlos, kept trying to kiss me. We had one of the, I think my favorite episode of that series is when we pretended to be a couple in suburban America. And we're right here.
Okay, so when you're going through the episodes, if you were going to create a drinking game based on your most popular like phrases that you think you say to each other, what would they be?
Okay, because there are two games, I said this to one person, there's already two games that exist for Smallville. One's a drinking game, one's a kissing game. And they're both based on the same thing. Every time a character says another character's name, you gotta take a shot, or you have to kiss the person you're watching it with. So be careful who you're watching it with. Because in every scene, I mean, Clark and Lex say each other's names 5 times.
Who does that in a real friendship? You're like, Michelle, you have to hear the story. Oh, Casey, tell it to me. Well, Michelle, yesterday I was over at the high school. Yeah, Casey, go on. And Michelle, like every second, relax. Clark, Lex. By the way, there's a game that people play, like, every time Lex gets hit on the head or hurts his head, you drink. Because I was knocked out how many times? Also, where's my security?
My question's for Michael Rosenbaum.
Where are you?
Owen?
Owen's my middle name. Like Owen Wilson. listen, you know, listen. It's like, don't worry.
They're like Owen Rosenbaum.
Yes, I'll answer the question. This is great.
Whose is your favorite voice to imitate? And could he possibly be on stage with you right now?
My favorite voice to imitate?
Well, I don't think Christopher Walken's here.
But I do.
Is Keanu Reeves here?
Yeah, I kind of like doing Christopher Walken's here. We used to do that on set all the time. We would do these scenes. Oh, Metropolis, Illinois. Home of Superman. There's no place like it. Everybody's got a Superman shirt on. Real unoriginal. And this guy just dropped. You got a dog?
What's the dog's name? Callie? Oh, look, Michael got a new dog. Oh, she peed.
It's alright. I've been pissed on before. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. Anyway,
Next question, how do we have this little kid that's floating in the air? Over here? Yeah. Speaking of being pissed on, Michael, as the true star of the show. That's all right. The relationship was based on mistrust. Like, we all need a friend.
I agree. They were.
All right.
Listen, I was there more, but he had more effect.
And Tom is like, no homo, quite possibly the most handsome I've ever stood in. So, this is a set question, Michael. So, in my head, I've got the set laid out. And that Smallville General Hospital was in certain places, you open certain doors and they go to the set. What was behind the two main doors in Lex's office?
Hallway. Hey, his mic's not working.
So probably because I threw it on the floor. Oh, there you go. So if you were looking at Lex's desk,
That's gonna cost me.
it's all right. I remember my first panel. So if you're facing Lex's desk and you turn around and the pool table would be off to your right, you walk out those double doors and there'd be a wall. And you turn left and it would go nowhere. And if you went to the right, it would go nowhere, but there would be a door to another stage, which was the Kent house. But yes, they do go anywhere.
Tom, for you. Oh, yeah, you're right here.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, it's all right.
It's gonna be exciting.
When your first time directing, like, what made you decide to direct? Did you like it like more in front of the camera or behind the camera? And like, what made you decide to like get behind the camera and start doing that?
That's a very good question. So now, that too? I think it was season 2 or 3. I was in almost every scene, so I was on set all the time. I could do problem solving and trying to figure out. I was curious of how everything worked because I never really had a job before like that. And I remember at one point, we were trying to figure something out with an actor and a camera, and I made a suggestion, and JP, who we love, was our #1 camera operator. And I made a suggestion, and I remember him looking at me, like, you're right, like that's a really good solution. And then it was like, I don't know, a couple months later, he said to me, he was just thinking about directing. And I'm like, I don't know how to direct. He's like, it's your show. And what he meant by that was like, you're here all the time, you see what we're all doing. And then I had a conversation with my agent at the time, and he said, let's put you in a situation where they ask you to direct, instead of saying, this is my show, you know what I mean? So I think it was, I don't know if it was season 4 or season 5, but I think there were some back channel conversations that they had said, would you like to direct? And it was great. The young girl who was in the episode won a Canadian award for Best Actress that year in a television series, which was great. But what I learned was, because I'd never directed before, so I was directing myself at the same time. And I remember one of our producers in LA he kind of pulled me aside, he said, make sure you do more takes on yourself than everyone else. And I was like, good advice. And I was like, I don't want to be that jerk. You know what I mean? So when we started filming, we would, and we had great DPs and other people. Anyway, long story short, I didn't realize that I was doing like 4 takes on other people, but like 1 or 2 on myself. Because I just was busy. And as a result, I think the episode suffered a little bit. And that same producer sat me down and watched the episode with me. He could see where my character suffered because of my distraction. And so the other, 7 episodes I did, I would say to the other actors, listen, this is not an ego thing, but I'm going to do a lot more takes on me. Just so you have it. And so then I would do 1 take on everyone else. And like 15 on myself. But it was something I had to learn, and I thank God for that producer to sort of show me that, and I've only directed things I've started. So hopefully I'll change that. But
Yeah, it sounds great, by the way. And I think another thing is when you're on set all the time, most people just kind of go in and they hit their marks and they don't really know what's going around and they stay in their lines, they just want to act. But when you're on set constantly, Tom and I started to go, oh, how does this work? And what lens are you on?
Well, why are you asking me to do this?
Yeah, and learning, and all of a sudden you learn enough where you're like, hey, I've listened to what these guys and seen what they've done, and it made it easier. It was a great platform. It was a safe environment to direct an episode, and like you had a big team around you, so you could really grow as a director. So.
I also think there's, when people ask me like better, I kind of looked at it as speaking different languages, like acting, directing, producing, and writing. If you can learn those different languages, you can communicate better with people throughout. So I don't have any faith. I can't write a thing, but the other 3 I enjoy doing a lot. Yeah.
I don't know, like on the one we're doing, Talkville, which comes out in July, we try to talk to, like the wardrobe guy, and maybe Lionel and Kristen Krug for like a little while. So usually it's just the 2 of us, and sometimes we bring on guest stars, people that will come on.
Amy Adams wants to really be a part of that.
She was on an episode.
She knows that.
Amy Adams was on an episode. Do you know that, sir? You did know that. He's like, yeah, I knew that. What the hell? Why are you pushing me?
No, that's one of the girls. No, I see that look. That's, I don't know. My wife wanted me to do it.
I bet there's been a lot of people who, I hear people come to the table and they're like, we met watching Smallville together. This is what we did on our date night. This is, I wonder how many divorces happened. Smallville! I'm tired of it!
How many children were conceived while somebody was watching Smallville?
I hope not. Did they conceive? What scene would they conceive?
Lexmas? There was a lot of good stuff in there.
I don't know. Next question. Yes. How was it working with Kristen for you?
Surreal. It really was. Me and Craig Beeman, who's a big part of the show, flew up to New York, met with I'll just talk while he was only supposed to be available to work, I want to say 3-4 hours. Obviously, due to his condition and with his nurse and his doctors with him, I think he stayed there for 8.5 hours. He would not let them take him away. The idea would be to shoot all his scenes, and if he had to leave, I would speak to someone else, and that's okay. But he hung right in there. And if you watch that episode, the gravitas, which is like I know it's a weird word, but what he brings to that character in depth, considering he can't move, was just, it was like ethereal. It was really moving.
You're lucky.
You know, bent down to, he wanted to whisper something to me. He goes, "I'm really happy that they chose you to be the next Superman." And I said, they didn't. And he goes, "They should have." And so that's always going to be in my heart. You ever get a chance to play it? Is that the thing? No?
I have something to say.
Well, then you should say it.
Even though that Superman helps us with everyone, that they know that they love him, then somebody will know that Superman hates kryptonites. Great are responsible for something is his greatest weakness. If you have any kryptonites, Superman will be allergic to it, even though he'll die, because the kryptonite kills the Superman. It kills Superman.
I'll tell you what, you know what, young lady, what's your name? You realize that you are already smarter than Lex Luthor ever was?
Certainly more articulate. But I still don't understand your question. Sorry.
Do you think that Lex Luthor is the only one that's been responsible for his dad that died because he grew up in his own town called Smallville, which is that Superman was placed in a ship for?
Placing what?
That's responsible for his
A ship that Superman was flushed out by his own parents and died because they were destroyed by a big thing that took the whole planet.
Would you like to be on our podcast?
You did a great job.
I wonder what, I don't remember, we haven't gotten there yet, but, you know, allegedly Lex pushed his father off the building. Did Lex ever admit to it, or was he just left it on the ether?
No, I think he just, I think
He slipped.
But let's be honest, Lionel Luthor deserved it, did he not? I'm not saying you should kill your father, but I'm saying that Lex Luthor did, and he went down that road. He tried to be good for so long, and then, when everybody's lying to you and deceiving you, and these times you just gotta, do some.
Is it true they cut the line as Lionel was falling, that Lex yelled, "I'm doing you a favor! I mean, me a favor!"
No. I think Lionel, though, as he was falling, he said, "Somebody's."
Hey guys, several years ago, John Glover was here, and he told a story about Michael, which Michael reappeared here, and the question was asked, but I'm going to ask with Tom here to find out the truth. John said that Michael liked to swim nude in a hotel swimming pool.
I'll say this, Your Honor. I never saw it. Never wanted to, but it was a cold pool.
I never did swim naked in a hotel pool. That would be illegal. But I wanted to. I swim naked in my house. Because it's my house. I think you'd get in trouble. There are laws. You asked the question, right? I'm looking at the wrong guys. I don't care what you do in your personal time, John. That wasn't even my question.
I mean, the Ohio River feels great naked.
Yeah, go take a dump in the Ohio River. I've done that before, though, when I was in high school. Not take a dump in the Ohio River. Oh, man. Oh, this is fun. I can do this all day. You guys having fun? I love it. Where's Christy? Christy, where are you? Oh, good. There's
Tattoo, and so every time.
Is that Kryptonian? I can't read it. What is it?
It's actually spelled out at the top, and it says hope, then it's a Superman symbol, house of elk, and then that's just the hope symbol.
Is there a whole alphabet? Because someone brought me something today and had Kryptonian, he's like, check it out! And I'm like, and he's like, what'd you do in the show? And I was like,
Superman.
every time someone hit Clark with Kryptonian, Clark didn't know what it was, so I could just be like, curious.
But hey, I want to commend you on having strength and facing so much adversity, dealing with so much crap. And I love it, so bravo to you.
Thank you for your podcast, because you interview people, and the podcast isn't like a normal podcast. You ask really great questions, and sometimes I'm having a crash day, and sometimes the humor brightens my day, and then also hearing like your stories and stuff like that about mental health is really awesome. So,
I listen to it. I'm a Patreon member.
well, you know, I listen to all your guys' shows, so I'm really stoked about talking about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm excited too. We can and Talkville, we can't get sued.
I wanted to call it Star City.
Elon Musk has that.
Oh, Elon Musk does that?
Hey, first of all, I just love you two. Y'all's chemistry together is amazing. In Smallville, I also just, every episode I watched, and Tom was so, Michael, I've met you. You're a great guy. My son, he's a lot
I love
bigger
it when they feel like they have to give you a compliment. When
I
it's
do.
actually true.
Yeah, I'm like the stepchild. It's like, Tom, we just really love you, and like, oh, and you're really good. But, you know, you really made that show, and I love that you shaved your head for it. No, I'm kidding.
That's what my son said. He asked you that question. He was younger when he did that on that, but I really appreciate you. Tom, I do have to ask you a question. Okay, you did Hellcats. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. That show was in Memphis, Tennessee. What was the connection? Why Memphis, Tennessee?
Cheerleaders. That was a really cool thing. I just started a production company with Warner Brothers, and we had come across this book that the series is based on, and it was just this really cool, fun insight into the world of cheerleading. And at the time, Don Ostrov, who was the head of Warner Brothers, literally was like, I want to make that right away. And so we got into production and shot in Vancouver while we were shooting last season in Smallville. So I would like finish shooting Smallville and then call the producers and be like, where are you guys shoot today? And I'd go over and like hang out on that set for a while. And I think if that show had one more season, it would have taken off. Don Ostrov left, the new guy he came in, his focus was more on reality television, and this was just a show that was just not performing yet. Just like, I mean, it wasn't the same, but Seinfeld had the same thing. The first episode, or the first season of the first season of Seinfeld was a little lackluster, really, but they gave it one more season, and then it took off. And I think that Hellcats would have been able to do that, because it was such a fun, exciting, and then now you have a couple of shows that are on TV that I think kind of are like Hellcats, and so thank you for watching this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And now it's been so long we can get all those cheerleaders to come back and be the coaches.
I did a lot of shows where I'm like, gosh, I would have liked one more season. One season was just not enough.
Mikey, Dumpy, Jane.
I did that one for a season, then Pastor I did for 2 seasons. Oh, it was fun, man. It was a good show.
Jack, Dumpy, and Jane.
Didn't last. So we Duncan, Jack, and Jane was a show, yeah. But what are you gonna do?
All right, guys. Sorry, this is the last question.
Oh. Oh my God, Tom. She's like, I'm another question. You want to rehearse with us right now for the podcast? We're not doing it right now, but yeah. I don't know. It's crazy.
Can we get her to call in number for the podcast? Because I think she's going to help us out a lot.
Hold that thought.
It's
Hold
crazy.
that thought.
It's crazy.
Last question.
Okay, this is for the both of you.
Hold on. I know. I get it. I'm with you. But why is it?
really fast.
Go ahead. If you were to have one final bout between Lex Luthor and Superman, how would it be? It'd be a long hug.
You know what? Start with a hug. Make it feel like, hey, you know, we
Mike would
could.
probably try to touch my face.
What was the line? We could have been the stuff of legends. Our friendship could have been the stuff of legends. It's sort of like that. It's like, God, you started out doing so well. You know, you saved me, and I offered you this truck. I helped you with Lana, and all these things, and you just shit on me.
Yeah. You know, that'd be funny if he pushed Clark off the building.
But then you just fly.
Maybe he needed it.
Maybe that's what he needed, me to push him off to learn he could fly. Thanks, Lex!
I knew it.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Q&A today. Please.